Here in West Central Missouri, we call this 125-year-old farmhouse home. Built in 1901 by my husband's family. Life moves a little slower here, and honestly, that's how we like it. Hi, I'm Brittney, the Homestead Dreamer. Most days, you'll find me in the garden, preserving whatever's in season, milking our family cow, homeschooling our kids, or getting things ready for our little farm store. And Kyle, he's the farmer. He row crops and raises cattle alongside his parents, carrying on a legacy that's been part of this land for generations. We're doing our best building a life that's a little more intentional, a little more rooted in what really matters. So whether you're here for the homesteading, the farm life, or just a slower pace, we're really glad you're here. This is my Lilac Hill. Good morning and welcome back to the channel. It is bright and early. The sun is starting to come up. It's only about 6 o'clock in the morning. Kyle is inside with the kids and I am outside. I'm gonna try and get some of my cabbages planted before the rain comes this week and makes the soil too wet to plant again. We've got rain expected in the forecast tomorrow night, I believe. It might have been moved up to tonight. I'm not sure. Today's Thursday, April 23rd. And so I'm just going to be trying to get as much done as possible. 6 o'clock in the morning is my usual gym class time. So usually I leave at about 5:15 and I drive into town, have my workout from 6 to 7, and then come home, and I'm home somewhere around 7:30. But this time of year, I like to work in the garden during this time of day because it's nice and cool. It's better for the plants, it's better for me, and it's just really nice to wake up with the garden. So I'm gonna have to try and get myself to go to some afternoon gym classes, which after working all day on the farm is really not that appealing. So stay tuned to see if I keep doing that, because I am on a weight loss journey. I do have a playlist with a few videos, but I am trying to lose the weight that I gained with both my pregnancies, and yeah, trying to just be a little healthier and get back in shape. I used to do a lot of weightlifting in my 20s and I got out of it when I had my son, and so I'm getting back into it. So giving up my morning gym time, I'm going to have to figure out a way to force myself to go in the afternoon, because I don't want to stop all the progress that I'm making with my health journey. But all that being said, I'm gonna get planting, and I got a new microphone, and I think it's paired correctly, and I think we're working, so you should be able to hear me better. I'm gonna set the tripod up, and I may talk with you as I'm planting, I don't know yet. But we're planting cabbages. I've got a bunch of cabbage starts from our local nursery, and really they needed to be planted already, but the weather hasn't been cooperating. So I'm just gonna plant them deep and hope for the best. They're either gonna die in here or have a chance at life in my garden. So we're gonna see how much we can get done this morning. All right, I think my plan of attack is gonna be to go down this line and just drill my holes. Now let's see, I have, oh gosh, how many do I have? 1, 2, I think I have 10 4-packs of cabbages. So I probably have too many cabbages, but if I have a few extra cabbages, I think I'm gonna give them to my mother-in-law, because we picked cabbages up for her when we went to the greenhouse and we didn't listen, evidently. We didn't get enough. So I might give her some of my extras. We'll see. And I hope that the microphone is working. I don't really know. We'll find out when I go to edit the video. I did test it and I think it is working. So we'll see if you can hear me over drilling that. We're still a little wetter than I'd prefer to be, but we're not too wet to plant. So we're gonna go ahead and keep going. And I love having this auger on my drill. Well, it's not even my drill. This one's my husband's. I have a little, this will tell you how old it is. I have a little Craftsman drill. I can't find the charger for it. Once we moved to this house, I've not been able to find the charger for it. So I've been using my husband's drill. But having the augers definitely makes quicker work of these holes. You just have to be a little careful, because if it grabs, it can really twist your wrist. like that. Yeah, certain places are a little bit wetter than I would like it to be, but at this point we have got to get some stuff planted. And like I said, it's either gonna die sitting there waiting for me, or I can try and get it planted. What's that saying? My husband was telling me the other day, farmers have always said, well, you can't do a replant until you plant the first time. So yeah, it's definitely grabbing more than I would like. Let's see, that's 2, 4, 6, 8. All right. Like I said, I start most of my stuff for my garden from seed myself, but I bought these cabbage starts. These are Bravo, and these are Bravo, but I think did I get nothing but Bravo? I might have. I thought I got a couple of Stoneheads, but I think I just got Bravo. That's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to plant them deep. That will give the stem a little bit of extra support. Maybe try and be a little gentle here. And it is a little windier than I would like. I don't really like exposing the roots to more wind than I have to. But you know what? Sometimes in gardening you just have to deal with some less than ideal conditions, and I do pinch off the lowest leaves that would be in the soil, but that's really all I do. And then I just get them covered up and kind of tucked in, trying to be gentle and not disturb the roots too much. These might be a little leggier than I would really like, but like I said, they've been needing to be planted. It's such a beautiful morning, and listening to the birds, and the sun is coming up, and gosh, this is just some of my favorite parts of the year are early mornings in the garden in the early spring. Or I guess late spring, early garden season, I should say, for me. We're in zone 6. I'm in west central Missouri, just east of Kansas City. Give you an idea of where we're at. And I am getting filthy. Like I said, it is wetter than I would like it to be. So this is mud, kind of, which is less than ideal, but you either plant it or you don't. I don't think I've ever planted this variety, but it was a faster maturity date. So let me see what the tag says. I think the others were like 85 days. No, these are 70 to 85. The others must have been closer to, wait, am I backwards? I don't know. Don't listen to me. It's too early. The other ones might have been the faster ones. They might have been 70 days. Because for some reason I was thinking I got the 70-day maturity ones, but it does not really matter. And I do have some broccoli to get planted this morning as well. We'll just see how much I can get done while Kyle is inside with the kids. And Kyle will have to be leaving here shortly to get his workday started, so I can't take too much time out here. We've gained so much daylight, and it stays, I don't think the sun is supposed to set before 8 p.m. until fall time, so that is exciting. A lot of work can get done with that much daylight. All right, I've moved the camera a little bit because I wanted you to be able to see the beautiful sunrise. And you can see my cabbages now a little bit better. And I'm going to be planting my broccoli. These are all, well, maybe they're not all the same. It doesn't say what variety they are. It just says broccoli. I thought it said emerald, and it might have on the tag at the store. But these are broccoli. I have 20 of them. So I'm going to go ahead and drill 20 holes. I'm skipping a row between the cabbages so that I can put those marigolds I talked about. And then I'm going to do 20 holes for the broccoli. You don't want to get carried away drilling all your holes. Like, I'm not going to drill all of the rest of these holes because I don't know if I'm going to get them planted today. And you really don't want them just sitting there exposed. So I'm only going to drill what I think I'm going to need. All right. Broccoli. Now, I'm not an expert on broccoli, I'll be honest. I've successfully grown broccoli like once. I haven't tried very many times though, so there is that. So if you're wanting like expert broccoli planting tips, I'm probably not your girl. And really, I don't claim to be an expert in anything. I don't know how, if I like how that's planted. I'm going to try and go a little deeper. I'm a self-taught gardener, but I've been gardening for, let's see, I think this is my 12th or 13th season now. So a little bit. I think this is my 13th season. Wow. It's kind of hard to believe. Started with one tomato plant, cucumber plant, and a pepper plant. And now look, I'm a full-blown lunatic. I'm definitely gonna have to change my pants before I go in and sit down anywhere. That's the thing about garden season, is the inside of my house sure does take a back burner. And if you are looking to follow garden content that's like super aesthetically pleasing and weed free and pristine, beautiful, I'm also not your girl. As much as I would love to be that, I am not. You know, maybe there will be a season in my life. Actually, maybe I've already had the only season in my life with a weed-free or close to weed-free garden. And that was before I was married and had kids. There's just too much going on. And you know what? Weeds are okay as long as you stay on top of them enough for the garden to be productive. I mean, they can be a hindrance, but a few weeds here and there doesn't hurt. Isn't it just freaking beautiful out here? With the sun coming up, I'm gonna go rinse my hands off again, and I'll show you what we did. All right, I have rinsed my hands as good as they're gonna get, and I wanna flip the camera around and show you a little bit closer up what it looks like. Okay, so this is all of our cabbages down this way, and then I left a row and I did our broccoli. And so like I said, down the middle here between the broccoli and cabbages will all be marigolds, hopefully, if my seed is still viable. But not looking too bad. So 19 broccoli and 34 cabbage. I really hope the wind doesn't do a number on them today, but it is what it is. Okay guys, I am going to head inside, change my pants. I'll leave my pants out so that if I come out later, I can put my dirty pants back on, my muddy pants. And I'm gonna have breakfast with my family, drink a little bit of coffee. We'll have homeschooling we have to do. And then maybe later today, I'll bring you back. We'll plant our marigold seeds and maybe a row of kohlrabi and a row of beans. Ideally, I want to finish this little section that I'm in. I would like to finish it. So, fingers crossed. Okay guys, it is right at about 10 o'clock in the morning now, and Maggie is down for her nap. Miles is laying down watching a movie, and I'm gonna come out here and see if I can get my kohlrabi and my green beans seeded, as well as the marigolds between the cabbages and the broccoli that we planted earlier. And if I can get all of that done, I might have a little bit of fun and seed some zinnias and hollyhocks. It's a little early for that kind of stuff, but I figure I have tons of seed and I can throw those in, and we're about to get rain, as you can see. So we'll just see if it works, and if it doesn't, I have a ton of that kind of seed, so we'll be fine. All right, I think the first thing I'm gonna do is go through and drill the holes for the marigolds, the beans, and the kohlrabi. And I think for the beans and the kohlrabi, I'm only going, so this will all be kohlrabi and this will all be beans. And I think for right now, I'm only gonna come down to about here, because that will allow me to succession sow. That's still 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. That's 19 green bean plants, and 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 19. I actually did that evenly. That's impressive. It'll be 19 kohlrabis and 19 bean plants, and that's a pretty good start. And then here in a couple weeks, we'll come back and get the rest. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this so that I know where I'm stopping, and I'll just start from here and go down to the end. And they do not have to be very deep, because remember, we're just seeding. I gotta weed this one while I'm in here. Try and get these pulled out as best I can. Even just since this morning, it has dried out a lot. The wind is picking up, and that does help. Okay. And like I said, I don't know if these seeds are even viable, because I did not store them properly at all. And when I was harvesting, there's some zinnias in here too. Like I said, didn't store them properly, and I was kind of in a hurry when I did this. So I've just got basically a bunch of marigold flowers that had dried on, and I can tell some of the seeds aren't viable, but let me see if I can get some. Yeah, these should be. They look how they're supposed to. Nice and dark black spots on the inside. So I'm just going to take a cluster And I'm just going to sprinkle them in and cover them up. And if they germinate, awesome. Try not to step on my plants. And if they don't germinate, no big deal. I'll do, if I have to, I'll thin them later. But I want a bunch in there to make sure we have the best chances of germination. If you've been gardening for even just one good year, but several years for sure, you start to learn what seeds should look like if you saved your own seeds, and you'll know if they should be viable or not, if they were, or well, maybe not that, but you'll know if they were picked correctly, if you had saved them at peak maturity, or if maybe you picked them a little too early. Got all the marigold seeds put in that I think I want to put in today. I'm going to go put this over at the table. Let's see, do I want kohlrabi on the edge or beans? Probably beans. So let me find my kohlrabi. And I don't know if I brought out my marker. I did. Okay, so this is just an acrylic marker, and I learned this trick a few years ago, and I don't use it every year, but I remembered about it. I didn't use it last year, and I remembered, and I'm going to do it again this year. So I only ever buy the Quick Star kohlrabi. So let's see. But supposedly it's waterproof and holds up to UV. This is a little bit different one than I used before, but I've always used an acrylic paint pen. Shake well, hold upright. Come on. It's taking a little bit, but it's starting to come out. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write kohlrabi, and I always start mine from seed, so I'll know that, but if you did like plant starts versus direct seeded, you could distinguish that. All I'm going to do is the date, April 23rd, and that'll stay on there all summer long, and as you're going through, you'll know what it was and when you planted it, so, or when you seeded it, so you'll know, well, should I be expecting it to be germinating, or am I just being impatient? Usually I'm just being impatient. But I am going to put 2 seeds in every hole, and I'll thin out if I need to. These seeds are very tiny, and as you can see, I do have handwriting all over my hand. I'm a very type C person. Didn't used to be. Used to be a lot more type A. But then I had kids. Now I'm pretty type C, and if I don't write it on something that is on my person at all times, I'll forget. I used to write Post-it notes and stick them to my phone, but that was when I had a clear case, and so it would just kind of sit between my phone and the case, and I could see it, and I don't have a clear case anymore. So that doesn't work. And so I've just written myself a little list of things I'd like to accomplish during nap time. Now for my beans, I'm gonna do 2 different ones. In this first one, I'm gonna do my dragon tongue bush beans, and in that one I'm gonna do just my Roma 2s. They're a flat Italian, and I want the text to be going the same way at least. So get myself situated here. Dragon tongue, April 23rd, and then Roma 2, April 23rd. Love these markers. This is such a great hack for labeling, because you don't have to worry about your labels getting pulled up, especially if you have kids, because if you have kids, they're just going to go pull the labels up right behind you thinking that they're helping you, and you can't be mad at them because they're helping you. But this is nice. All right, and as the saying goes, one for the bugs, one for the birds, one for me. 3 in a hole. So I'll do this succession. In a couple weeks, I'll come down and do the same types, but another succession of them. And then a couple weeks after that, I'll plant a couple rows of different type of bean. And I think what I ordered, I think they're contenders, I think is what I got. So we'll have a lot of beans. Green beans is one of the easiest things to can up. And boy, during the winter, does that stretch a meal. Open up a quart of green beans and there's your vegetable. And it's easy. I have these too, but I need to use up my other bag first. Some zinnias and some hollyhocks. I think we could actually hold the phone on that. I want to sprinkle in some more. Let's see what we got here. Oh, pooper scoopers. I was going to put some collards out here. I still could. I don't know. Maybe I'll save collards for fall. I like them when they have a little bit cooler temperatures. They're a little bit sweeter. I'll save collards for fall. Let's head on over to my raised beds. They're very, very weedy, but I have some extra carrots and I haven't planted any radish yet, and I do like a few radish. So I'll flip the camera around and show you some gaps that I have that we can tuck these into. So I did seed a couple of Brussels. So I've got my Catskill Brussels sprouts here. I have some Napas that the water had kind of moved some of the seeds out. So these will be Napa cabbages, and that down there will need to be thinned out, but I'm waiting to do that. This is cauliflower, and those will also have to be thinned out, but I'm waiting to do that. And then over there I have some red cabbage, and they might need to be thinned out and moved around, but I'm waiting on that until these are a little bit more established, because if a couple die or if the birds get a couple and they're a little bit more established, I can actually just pick them up and move them in this bed where I need them. So this half of the bed I'm going to leave alone. But on that half of the bed over there, I did 1/2 carrots and 1/2 beets, and I just haphazardly threw seed in because that's what I do. And it worked. Obviously, you see I've got some beets and I've got some carrots. But I have room for some more. So I'm going to go sow some more carrot seeds in the area that didn't fill in as much or didn't germinate as well. And I'm going to put some radish on the back side of the beets, because I'll be able to easily tell the difference between radish and beets. And I don't have any labels out here with me. And I can't really use my paint marker in these beds. As you can tell, we've had so much rain, and I'm not complaining. I'm very thankful for the rain. But we've tried to keep up with the mowing. We just mowed the other day. It's time to mow again. We didn't even get a chance to do the string trimming before we had more rain. So we have a lot of grass and a lot of weeds right now, and that's okay. I have no idea what kind of carrots those were that I just threw some seed in. But these are Long Imperator number 58 and Rainbow Mix. And again, I'm just going to kind of tuck a few in here. And I just kind of do it haphazardly. And they'll either germinate or they won't. But I've got a lot of carrots starting in here. And I'm not doing the CSA, so I don't have to care so much about this. I can just have fun with it. Let's see. Okay. And then carrot seeds. The carrots are germinating a lot easier with all this rain, so that's one blessing. But they don't have to be very deep, so you just kind of scatter them. Now the radish, I'm going to keep on this side, kind of where the beets are, and I'm just going to go where there's some holes where no beets germinated. And I'm just going to tuck me a few in. We don't need just a ton of radish. Probably put 2 holes in, or 2 seeds in each hole. Cover them back up. Let's do a few more. I like to pickle radish, but I don't think I'm going to grow enough this spring to pickle. I'm hoping my high tunnel will be up and we can grow some throughout the fall and winter for pickling. And if it's not, I do have some covers for these raised beds, which will become, I don't want to go over there, that's carrots. This will become my fall garden. I usually do my fall garden just in these 4 raised beds, and it's plenty just to have a little bit of greens, maybe some beets, maybe a few radish. Because by September and August, let's be real, I'm tired of gardening. So I don't want to keep up with a whole lot throughout the winter time. I think I hear my son coming outside. He might come over and join us. All right, so Miles is going to join us, and I'm going to drill just some holes.
Yeah, and I'm going to watch her drill some holes, and then I'm going to put some seeds.
You're going to put some seeds in. We're going to do some hollyhocks and some zinnias. Just in front of me here are the cabbages and broccoli that we planted. So it's just going to be for a few holes at the end of the cabbage and broccoli row, just for some pollinator attractors and a pop of color in the garden. So nothing fancy. I'm just going to drill some holes for him. Now Miles does know how to use this drill, and he's pretty good at it, but with the way that it's jerking my wrist because the soil is a little wet, I'm not letting him do it today.
Yeah.
Because I don't want him to get hurt.
Yeah, and I don't want to get cut like that.
Yeah.
I only got cut by a thorn today when I was working with Dad.
You got a thorn when you were working with Dad?
Oh, I did. Scratched me right here, see?
Oh yeah, you did. Was that when you went to do the cows with Dad? Get them moved onto a different pasture?
We moved them to a different pasture.
Well, you guys set up the fencing so that they could be moved, right?
Yeah, we set up the fence and gave them the middle.
Yeah.
So they're distracted so we can open the gate.
Yeah.
Now I can step on everything over here.
Yeah, I need to clean all that weedy mess up, but I haven't got around to it yet. Okay. The holes are dug. You stay here. I'm going to go get the seeds so that you can plant. Which ones do you want to do? Okay, so we have 2 rows and we have 2 types of flowers. We have zinnias, which are these, and we have hollyhocks, which are these.
Hollyhocks.
In that row or this row? This row? Okay, then let's do the zinnias in that row first. So come over here. Up, see where I started drilling the holes? Mm-hmm. You'll just sprinkle a couple in and cover them up with the dirt, okay?
Okay.
They're at the very bottom of the bag. But you can reach your little hand in there. Yeah. Put like 2 or 3 in each hole, but not a whole lot.
Like that much?
No, that's a lot. Just like 2 or 3 little. Like that's 2. So just grab a couple and put in each hole. Okay. Miles, look. You got 2?
Okay.
Okay. And then 2. And then 2. You don't need to put any more in that one. Here, I'll cover them up for you. You can cover the next ones up because I don't want you reaching into the hollyhock seeds with dirt all over your hands. It's not good for the seeds. Did we get all the holes for the zinnias? All this row, yeah. This is what these ones look like. So you're going to start in this hole here, and you're going to do all of that, okay? And here, I'm going to give you a handful of seeds, so hold out one hand, and use your other hand to grab a couple and put in each hole, okay? Okay. Do you want to, hey, Miles, start here. It's okay, they don't have to be very deep because they're seeds. Okay, so drop them all in, and then you can come back and cover them up, okay? You're doing good, buddy.
Is this good?
Oh, looks like it's a dead bug. It's okay.
You already put 2 on there.
Okay.
Then this one. Can the camera see it?
Yes, it can. Yep. And then make sure you get those last 2 holes. Make sure you have enough seeds for those. And then if you have extra, okay, if you have extra, you can come back to some of these at the beginning and add more.
So there's 2. 2 and a half a lot extra.
Okay, these first 3 holes, add some more to those first 3 holes. Far off the ground, it's just dropping onto the fabric and blowing away. Get down close to it if you want to drop them on. It's okay. You can add some extras. You want to add all of them in there?
Yeah.
Okay, now can you cover each of these holes up? You just kind of brush the soil over and then pat it. Okay? Doesn't have to be perfect, but every one of the holes needs to be done, okay?
Look, I did it perfect.
You did.
Like it was never there.
Yep, you're doing so good. You my little garden buddy?
Yeah, I like doing that. I kind of want.
Hey, buddy, why don't you turn around and go? You wanted to tell our friends bye, right? Well, tell them bye.
Bye.
As you can tell, I'm back inside. Maggie is awake from her nap because her brother woke her up. So there's that. I did not get done everything I wanted to outside, but we got the kohlrabi, the beans, the cabbages, and the broccoli all planted today before the rain came. So I'm going to call it a win. And I'm going to hang out with Maggie until Kyle should be home in about 30 minutes for lunch. We'll have lunch as a family. I still have to get homeschool done today. I have a lot of housework that needs done. We all need clean clothes, so I have laundry to do. And by the time I get all of that wrapped up, it'll be time to cook supper. And then it'll be bedtime, and you know the drill. If you're a parent, you know it. So I'm going to wrap the video up here, and we will continue gardening. We'll be out in the garden every day that we can from here till October, maybe even November, depending on the weather. So it's okay that I didn't get everything done because tomorrow's another day. And I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Thanks so much for being here today, and I'll catch you in the next video. Have a great day.